Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host. And joining me this week are my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Joe Lever.
Howdy ho.
Oh, that was very good. It's like a Mr. Wilson thing. And Levi Fletcher. Levi, welcome.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Thank you both for being back. It's been a few weeks since I've had both of you here, and I feel privileged because I love having guests on. It was really fun to have Theme Park History on last week, Jack from there, but it's fun to have you both back. And from what we're going to talk about today, you both seem really fired up about it, which I am excited to hear about, because I remember I was like sending out the topic and you guys were like, "We got a lot to say," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But yes, anyone who's joining us here for the very first time, we like to talk about pop culture. We like to talk about movies, games, TV shows, theme parks, music, anything we just love. And this week we had a few trailers drop. We're going to talk about them briefly because they're both like the second trailers that have popped for these movies, like big trailers. First off, let's talk about the death of a franchise because it needs to go live somewhere else. We're talking Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix, it's so weird to me. Like, they have to promote this film and it got pushed back and all of that. Now looking at this trailer, and everybody, if you haven't watched these trailers, I highly recommend you go check them out before we talk about them, because there are some spoilers probably going to pop up. Levi, what do you think about this? How are you feeling about like this last movie in this franchise?
This trailer does look a lot better than the first trailer that was premiered.
Okay.
And a lot of people online are noticing that. There just wasn't a lot of substance to the first trailer, and rightfully so. They're just taking a character that briefly got introduced in Apocalypse, and now they're making it into a bigger character. I don't know. I feel really weird about this series. I feel like they just kind of like New Mutants. They just really need to hem it up and start afresh with Marvel.
Hem it up, dude. That's a great way of putting it. Like looking at this, there are moments that I look kind of cool to me. I'm a big Magneto fan, so seeing him like pick up all those guns and like shoot at Jean, even though I know it's completely like worthless to do that, I still like that. But like seeing like his helmet get crushed around his skull, I'm like, are they gonna kill him there? But Jennifer Lawrence actually might die really early on in this movie. Joe, as the biggest J-Law fan on the planet, where do you stand with Mystique biting it in the beginning, if that's indeed the case?
Well, hopefully it's her and the rest of them. I mean, seriously, how much more X-Men bullshit do we need?
That's true.
Where does this happen? Where does this happen in the timeline?
This is the 90s now? They just jumped a decade.
Okay, so we jumped back ahead. Logan died in the future. Now we're going back again to see... Is he going to make an appearance here? Because technically around then he was alive yet.
They did shoehorn him into the last one, so there's a really good chance he'll be in this one.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Just what we need more of.
Yeah, I get you.
In Apocalypse?
Yeah, he's in Apocalypse briefly because they do that little side quest where they go to Alkali Lake and he shows up. Spoiler alert for freaking X-Men Apocalypse. It's brief. One thing that's weird to me is like why Professor X is in the field a lot, and I don't like that shot of them all wearing collars and they're sitting on the train and they've all been like captured again, probably by Stryker or Weapon X or somebody. It's like, how is Professor X getting captured? Like why is he out in the field at all? Like I'm just like, just go home. Let's hang out with Cerebro, dude. I know it's dangerous there too because it keeps blowing up, but like
he would be the one they don't have to worry about it.
I just don't get it. And it seems like such a bare bones group of X-Men. Like, and it seems like no one wants to be there. Like there doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight here. It's just kind of like, we're doing one that's in space kind of. And they have that new kind of villain who I'm not familiar with, that lady, who could be like the Phoenix Force or something else kind of manipulating genes somehow. I just don't care. I really don't. I don't know if I'll see this in theaters because I'm like,
really?
Yeah. Oh, Apocalypse was so boring.
We got to at least go on a Tuesday night,
Maybe, for $5 Tuesday, maybe I'll go see X-Men.
That's sad when like a movie gets demoted to Tuesday nights. It's like, it's not something you're excited about.
Yeah, and I love Fassbender and McAvoy, and I'm just like, even McAvoy is just kind of like, and they do the whole, it's the same, and the problem is the same storyline kind of that like Last Stand already did, so it's a lot of like, Charles, how dare you do this? He's like, I was trying to protect her in the world. It's like...
I have a feeling they were like, you know what, we have to wrap this up. Can you guys do at least one more? Because Apocalypse was just not great, and we need something to...
It doesn't wrap anything up. They're going back to the past.
Yeah, you're right. Joe's totally right.
But in the X-Men timeline world, that works for them,
I don't know. Somebody said it really well a while ago. on another podcast, Weekly Planet, one of their people said the only X-Men movie that matters was the one that came before it. So like as long as you watch just the one that, if you watch Apocalypse, that's the only one that they'll consider to be canon at all, because it just seems like every movie after that is just like, oh, 2 movies ago, yeah, who cares what happened back then? Doesn't make a lick of difference. It's frustrating. Also, is anyone else bothered by Mystique's makeup? I feel like they just put her in the jumpsuit just so they could only do her face, and they're like, we'll only do some of it. Like, like it doesn't feel like they've tried at all with this makeup. Is it me? Am I not?
No, it doesn't look that great. I mean, it's messed up. Like I just Googled like how to watch X-Men in order the other day when I restarted X-Men, and literally every single post is like completely different.
Yep.
Like there's no like real line of thinking, and people are like, well, you could do it by release order, but then that's fucked up, and you can do it by this time, that's fucked up. And I'm like, say no more.
Yep. So I guess there's probably not much more to say about this. Is there anything, I guess, especially Levi, because you said you're a fan of X-Men, is there anything in here that you find redeemable or something that you like?
I like Sophie Grace. She's great in Game of Thrones. I just don't like her as Dark Phoenix. I don't like her as Sansa. And
wait, you're like, she's great in Game of Thrones, but I don't think she's not really great.
Oh yeah, sorry, not Sansa. I don't. Was Jean Grey? Yes, I'm sorry. Don't like her as Jean Grey. Like her as Sansa. No, I don't know. Agreed. Not really. I like Michael Fassbender, but I don't think he can save it. Like, do a whole Magneto movie and maybe it'd be different.
Would you say you would enjoy her performance if it was sans Jean Grey? Sans, like with that?
Levi has disconnected from the chat.
That was slightly witty. Joe, for you, as not someone who's really inundated with X-Men anymore, or ever maybe really was, is there anything that they could do in this last film that you'd be like, oh, this is great? Like, do you want to just see them all get wiped out? Or like, what would you want to see?
I want to see the movie fail. And then, and then maybe they'll stop caring about X-Men, and then Marvel can pick them up and put together the pieces. Who controls it now, anyway? Is it still Fox doing this?
No. So this was like one of the last things Fox was doing because they were kind of throwing everything at the board to see what would stick. So technically, they are going back to Disney. So this is going to be like the last like X-Men, and like, I think there's really a better chance of a snowball in hell surviving for more than like 10 minutes than this franchise continuing the way it is into the MCU, because for all the little minor flaws that they might have with their timeline, they're really consistent. Like if you want to watch, like Levi, you're talking about X-Men timeline being messed up. If you want to see the MCU timeline, like that's very straightforward for the most part. There's a few like dates that got thrown around that were wrong, like for Spider-Man Homecoming, but that one you can follow, And I think bringing this in there would be, you couldn't do it because like there've been world like catastrophes that like they would have glossed over in Avengers. Be like, oh, remember that time that blue guy showed up and kind of ruined the world? Like, that they can't do that. So I think that they will just take all of it, like Joe said, and they'll recast everybody. Just
introduce a character here, introduce a character there.
Yeah, like Wolverine could show up like a new Wolverine in an Avengers somewhere down the line. I think you take and don't cast some of these like lesser known mutants with like big well-known actors, because that's the only reason Mystique is still like so prominent. It's because Jennifer Lawrence is like really well known and marketable, because Mystique's powers are interesting, but she's always been like a side villain. She's not like the main hero of the X-Men, like I'm sure in some comics.
It's so weird to see her like in First Class and then in like the original X-Men movies.
Yeah,
my God. She's just so pure evil in the original. Like,
well, it's so jarring in Days of Future Past when Patrick Stewart's, Charles Xavier is like, yes, Raven and I used to be friends. And it's like, dude, she tried to like kind of kill you in like the first X-Men.
Yeah.
or the second one, whatever it is. It's like, dude, you're really close. Like, I don't think you were. So, yeah, I think, Joe, you got it right. I think they'll do that. Or it's the perfect time, whatever you do with the Infinity Gauntlet, or if you do anything with time, in the MCU, to bring mutants to the forefront now, because you can do shenanigans with all of that. Kind of like if they do Flashpoint in the DCU to like recast or change stuff up. There's these moments that they could use to facilitate that. But all right, let's just quick hypometer. Levi, 0 out of 100. How steamy are you feeling? Joe's just snickering.
A 6
out of 100.
out of 100.
Yeah.
No.
So 60 out of 100.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
a 60.
6 on a 10 scale. Yeah.
Like a 60. Okay.
60. I was so
Is it
excited
showing
for. I was so excited for Days of Future Past letdown, Apocalypse letdown.
Days of Future Past is pretty good.
It's okay, but it doesn't mean anything to the series.
None
Like
of
it doesn't. Like that's what bugs me. There's nothing. It was
Nothing's
supposed
sacred.
to be the movie. It was supposed to be the one that tied it together.
Yeah. They just fixed. They just like basically got rid of the movies they didn't like. They were just
one
like
film to bind them. Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
in the dark, it's called Dark Phoenix. No.
60. All right, Joe, are you gonna top that? Or are you gonna be a little colder?
Get out your jackets and mittens, boys. You're gonna need them. I could not care about this movie any less than I currently do. Like, it doesn't even rank on the scale. It is a 0.00. If I could go negative, I would.
Beautiful, Joe. I appreciate that.
If Marvel actually took over X-Men, would you?
Yeah,
care?
maybe they could make it interesting. I was bored in Logan. I was bored in the rest of them. They were just stupid. Was that harsh? Yeah. A little harsh. But
no, I respect it.
Nah.
Logan was kind of, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get that. Which a lot of people were like, oh man, like the Wolverine
Logan actually had some substance, to it though. Like that's the difference.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's substance, but you can't have just one redeeming quality to bring you up to 60 degrees for me.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
The corniness of X-Men Origins Wolverine, I think it's just because it hit at the right time when I was young and that game came out at the same time. So I have like a weird soft spot in my heart for that. And everybody hates that movie because like they ruined Deadpool. And I was like, that was my favorite Deadpool, the one that can't talk. But yeah, I'm with Joe. I'm gonna be a little warm. Well, I was gonna give it 20. I'm gonna give it a 20 out of 100. So 20 degrees. That's pretty chilly. I mean, where we're from, it's not that cold, but overall, there's only a few things I see here that I like. Where it's kind of like Jean like picking up the train, and she's I'm like, oh, that's some cool effects. But it's hard to care any less. And I really loved this franchise back in the day. I really, really did. But I want to see Marvel do something with it. I want Magneto to be like a main villain for the Avengers. Like I want some of that to like if that started to happen, where it's like. Or Doctor Doom was to face them. It doesn't have to be in a Fantastic Four movie or an X-Men movie. It's just bring these cool characters in and these villains in and not have them be so weird and like do a good Apocalypse, but they won't do that for a while because he's kind of similar looking to Thanos. So like they'll wait a long time before they do Apocalypse again. Like they'll be like, hey, we need some space. But yeah, I don't know. So that averages out as a group to -5. Look at that. No, just kidding. I'm not doing the average. Levi's our redeeming. Levi, if you really want to go on a Tuesday, I'll see it on a Tuesday, I guess.
Going up on a Tuesday.
I just don't want to see another freaking Magneto family die. Like I just don't. If I have to see him be like, I've fallen in love.
I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, and it's again, these skip every decade, so these people should be way older than they look. Like they're all still like mid-20s, early 30s, and it was like they were that in the 60s, and that was like 40 years ago. Like it's like. Nah, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Anyway, let's move on to another trailer. Everyone's so excited about Hellboy. Is it Rise of the Blood Queen? Something like that? I don't know. Let me just preface this. Only thing I like about this trailer, I like Deep Purple Smoke on the Water. I like the new version of it. The music in the background's pretty good. Everything else almost is rough. I don't know what they told David Harbour to do, but I feel like they said, hey, man, all the personality you have? Get that out of here. Let's just have you say things. Let's just have you be like, oh, yeah, man, but you're effing crazy or whatever. I'm just like, like, please stop. Please stop doing this. Like, it's so weird, especially after the really good representation with Ron Perlman. I don't know. Is anyone else feeling like this is lifeless or like there's something weird going on here?
The dialogue in both trailers is the worst dialogue I have heard in such a long time. So some lines I picked out was like, should we just like go save the world or something?
Yep, I hate it too. Yep.
I do like Mila Jovovich. I was always a big fan of her in Resident Evil.
Ian McShane, he's good too. He's he's gonna be the dad in this, and he was Blackbeard in the Fourth Pirates.
Yeah, I do like him.
He's a good actor. He's been in other stuff too. He's been in
he's in American Gods, and
John Wick.
He was in Game of Thrones. Yep, John Wick. Timekillers. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, got excited.
He was in Game of Thrones.
He was in an episode where he was like he was a septum. They were building like that sept out in the middle of nowhere with the Hound, and then he ends up getting like hanged at the end.
Oh yeah. He was also in The Rock's version of Hercules.
It didn't ruin anything,
guys. He was part of a nose. Is that what you're trying to tell me? I know when you're trying to pull a fast one on old Jim.
The CG looks fine.
I like the big weird thing that's like crushing the London Bridge. I'm like, okay, that's weird and Hellboy-y. I'm like,
that's fine. I like the dude from Stranger Things. He's fine.
But his he sounds so
dialogue's horrible. Yeah, no,
so bad.
I mean, he looks fine.
Yeah.
Remember, these actors don't write.
I still don't think he looks better than the original Hellboy.
I feel like if I was an actor, though, wouldn't I take a look at my lines and be like, "This is shit. Why am I going to say this?"
Well, maybe it's also the direction too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like him riding the bat. He's got the fire crown and he's got the horns and the sword and he's riding a bat. And I was like, dragon thing. I was like, that's really cool. But
is that enough?
I don't know, man. This is a Tuesday one.
It's a Tuesday. It might be a direct to sequel or direct to video.
Direct to Netflix. Not if Steven Spielberg has his way. Joe, how about you, man? I know we watched the first one, the first trailer, and now seeing some of this stuff or kind of being aware at least of it. What is there anything for you that you're interested in now? Other than even the design of him.
Well, I'll say this: I like it better than the X-Men Black Phoenix trailer. So
Dark Phoenix,
same thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be R-rated,
Yeah, I think it has some redeeming qualities. I think our rating should help it. I mean, not make a lot of money, but help it in making it better quality at least. Because you can show some worthwhile things that enhance that type of movie based on hellish things, etc., demons and whatnot. The writing is done by a toddler, or perhaps a directing too. I don't know.
The manatee,
maybe both,
from South Park did the writing for the
manatee. Oh, perfect.
I can deal with a quip or a joke, and I get that that's kind of Hellboy's MO. He's gonna have a sharp tongue now and again, right? I'm fine with that. Anybody would, especially if you're the badass from hell and you're dealing with little stuff. Once you get to the big stuff, I'm a Capricorn and you're just nuts.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
I don't know if it works or not. Maybe we'll be proven wrong in the theater.
The line from Transformers trailer where Mark Wahlberg says, "I think I just found a Transformer," is better than this shit. Okay. And I thought that was bad. This makes sense.
I'm not rating it as 0 or anything like that. I think, I don't know, maybe, cut up in a trailer like this, it might not do it justice. It does look good, the CG and whatnot. It's a little fresher. The Ron Perlman one was well done. Del Toro, right?
Yeah, I love that.
He does a good job with the practical effects and everything, but I can see some of that in this one. Certain things I don't like when he's fighting that giant thing. I hate, it's broad daylight. The thing's just there standing, and I'm just like, what a lame creature.
Yeah. And he's
swinging
that big sword, and he's taking it down. I'm like,
kind of lame, cheesy. But then I look at stuff like, that gargoyle bat thing from hell. Oh, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else did I pick out? The hyena boy thingy-mabobber. I don't know what's going on there. It looked cool, and they did a cool transformation moment.
The jaguar leopard guy?
Sure, whatever it was, it had spots. I know that, and it had claws. Looked
Yeah.
kind of cool, but it might end up being cheesy. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that. It's kind of on the fence for me. I'm not sure what to think, and it's almost like to really give it an accurate yay or nay, I'd have to see it. Period. I don't know that I can judge it accurately off of this trailer. The music was good. It's kind of good hype music, and it's kind of classic. I like the vibe that. Apologies, I forget his name already.
David Harbour.
Yeah. I like the vibe that he gives off. I think he fits the character. I think it's just purely the writing and the dialogue that kind of ruins it, But if you're going to pick somebody to replace Ron Perlman, yeah, I don't think they screwed up with that one. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on it, and I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but it could prove to be something.
I'm just not excited for this. I've never been a fan of Hellboy, even the originals. So,
okay.
As far as for a movie that's based off of Hell, it's a little chilly.
Levi, give us a score. Let's hear it.
0.
Oh my god! He's like 60 for Dark Phoenix, but 0 for this.
Yeah, that just doesn't check out.
No, I'll give it like a 30.
Oh,
okay.
I might watch it someday on the TV.
On the
on the telly.
Joe, how about you? It sounds like you're kind of in the 50 range, maybe, because you said you're kind of yay or nay-ish.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of right in the middle. I don't have a huge desire to run to the theater and see it, but given the opportunity, I will certainly watch it.
If he wasn't Cable and Thanos, I think Josh Brolin would have made for a good Hellboy, by the way.
Not big enough.
Not big enough? Oh, they can make it bigger.
Oh, yeah, they'll put him on stilts or whatever.
No, but yeah. Levi, you agree? You get me on that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he would have been good. It does put a smile on my face.
Is he not a big guy?
He's pretty big. I mean,
no.
What do you mean by that?
Josh Brolin, he's like what, 5 foot something, and
is he? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's like he's.
You couldn't tell from freaking Thanos.
Well, Cable, I feel like maybe.
Thanos is all CG. This guy's actually in an outfit.
He's not CG. That's
Thanos.
It was 100%. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I was like,
I bought it.
What the hell are we talking about?
Josh Brolin's a 9-foot purple man.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I'll probably give it like a what did I say for Dark Phoenix? 20? I guess I'll give this one a 30. I'll give it a shot. I like Hellboy and I like those other 2 movies. And there's some things that look cool in this one, but the dialogue alone is just it really irks me, and maybe it's not so bad, but I'm so sick of this whole cliche of just like, you made me do a weapon, and then they show that person like doing like shooting a gun or slicing it. I'm like, you were a weapon before, like you were a demon that came out of hell and you had like a super death arm. It's just like it just,
I mean, ultimately, we're only seeing a trailer, so of course they're trying to jazz you up and get you to chuckle a little bit, like, oh, that looks cool, that looks like it'd be fun. So, spread over a 2-hour movie, maybe it's not so bad. The one thing that hits you hard, though, is that at the real impactful moments, they make a mockery of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of that sort of thing, and that's one of the reasons I've never enjoyed like the Deadpools of this world. Is I hate these big, like, I couldn't imagine watching Lord of the Rings and like watching freaking Frodo about to drop the ring into the fires of Mount Doom, and he looks at the camera and he's like, "Actually, it's for me." Bloop,
yeah, right.
I feel like like there has to be some sort of sincerity in the climax of these fights. And they're not believable in the first place, but I want the characters to believe it's real, because when they're just like yelling and swearing at each other like that, it's just like, well, there's no gravitas in the situation anymore. I know you're not going to die, and like, I don't care if Catboy dies, because I'm like, he turns into a cat. Is that your special power, is to turn into a cat or whatever? Because like that doesn't check out the supernatural world as being like, oh yeah, he could turn into a cat. It's not like Beast Boy where he could transform into a bunch of things, or maybe he can. I don't know. I just he's like, oh, we get your game face on, and he punches him, and then he finally turns into like a leopard or a hyena or whatever. I was like, like, please, like,
oh, it's not even on the level of, what is his name, El Diablo or whatever from freaking Suicide Squad. I preferred that to this,
dude. Oh man. Which, side note, this was I think like last week's news, but like Will Smith is out of being Deadshot. Like, not that he was going to be on Suicide Squad 2, but I think at this point we all know that it's time for Deathstroke. Don't recast Deadshot. Just bring Deathstroke in. Joe Manganiello's ready to go. Bring him in, right? Who cares about Suicide Squad 2 except for James Gunn, because he'll make that movie good, I think, which will be hilarious because people will be like, oh, it's actually really good.
And there'll be some tweet they dig up, and that'll be the end of him doing that movie.
Well, DC doesn't care about that. DC's like, please stay. He's like, you know about my Twitter account? And they're like, we couldn't care less. Please, can you write a Harry Potter movie for us? That would be great, too, because clearly we don't know what we're doing. Dude, I'd watch a James Gunn directed Harry Potter film or Wizarding World movie. That would be way better. Oh, my gosh. That would be great. WB, consider it. Speaking of WB, our favorite franchises come out of WB, but we want to talk this week about something that's very important because Ben Affleck is like for sure gone. He's not going to be Batman anymore. He's left.
Really?
He's moving on to greener pastures. He confirmed it.
Yeah, it's called rehab.
Yeah, that's true. Which I get it. I'm sure it's very difficult to be Batman, and he didn't want to do it. He's doing it for his kids, which is another thing I'm getting a little tired of. In Hollywood, a lot of these
use your kids as an excuse.
Yeah, they come out there. They're like, I only did it for my kid. It's like Viggo Mortensen's kid got him to go be Aragorn. And I'm like, man, you still did a great job, but like, I'm just glad you're not doing it anymore because I don't want people to be resentful. Like if RDJ came out and he's like, I only did Iron Man because my kids. So it's like, what? Like, does he have kids? I don't know. Anyway, so Ben Affleck's out. He's gone. However, that means that the door is wide open to cast a brand new Batman. And don't worry about it, because we're going to pick it for everybody. We've got some great candidates. Both Joe and Levi can't wait for another 20 Batman films. They love Batman. It's their favorite guy. So I'm gonna start this because I think they're going to change it. So I just want to throw one name in the ring. Someone who has proven that they can act with the bottom half of their face only in Judge Dredd. First time I saw him was in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and he was recently in a superhero film. It was underutilized horribly in Thor Ragnarok. I'm talking about the one and only Karl Urban. Fantastic. He's a great actor. I think he could do both. I think he could be Bruce, and I think he could be Batman. That's all I'm trying to say. I think he'd be great, and I think the odds of him doing it aren't that bad in the grand scheme of it all. And he deserves a big break because he's really good. You guys know Karl Urban. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I better look him up quick.
Look him up. He's great.
Carl with a C or a K?
With a K. With a K.
Keith Urban?
No, I was going to say, like, Joe's like, wait a sec. Did he play country music? It's like,
I like that dude.
You know what, Jimmy? Taking this very seriously. I mean, that's not too bad.
Thank you very much.
What movie was he in that I liked?
I was thinking Josh Duhamel.
He's in Star Trek. Yeah, he does a good job in Star Trek also.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's Bones in Star Trek. Oh, God. He's like one of my favorite things in that movie. Wait, Josh Duhamel, Joe? Holy crap. What a pick. That's an interesting... I haven't heard from Josh in a while.
Fergie's husband? No, thank you.
Why is it I always think of Dr. Pepper when I think of Fergie now? She did like a few Dr. Pepper commercials. Then Josh Duhamel, I think of Dr. Pepper now too. Dang it, they got to me.
Christian Bale.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I want him to come back as Batman.
Really?
Yes. I like Christian Bale. He makes a good Batman and he makes a good Bruce Wayne.
Would you people be effing quiet on my set? I'm trying to do a take.
But he apologized for that. But
He apologized.
the thing is, I don't give a shit about Batman anymore. Zero fucks. I am so over that character. I actually only want a Batman Beyond reboot, and that's it. A live-action Batman Beyond.
Okay.
And you will cast, like, I don't even know. Andrew Garfield. No, just kidding.
Oh my gosh, no, please.
No. No, but I feel like they would find like a really cool young actor, and I feel like the series could just take off really well.
Okay. Would you want old man Batman in Batman Beyond though? You know, because you need to still have like he would be the new Alfred, like he sits in the Batcave and he's
Yeah,
like,
Christian Bale.
Okay, so you want old Christian Bale. Do you take
No,
him?
you could probably do like a Michael Keaton or like a
Oh my God! If Michael Keaton came back at this point, people would lose their minds.
not as a full-time Batman. I'm saying like as a mentor Batman.
they'd still people would be like, the
I know.
continuity, like.
I'm just thinking of who would play young Batman.
That's the trick, because like it's hard to do both, like the Bruce Wayne and the Batman stuff.
Who's hot right now?
I made this joke where you take John Hamm from Mad Men and you make him Bruce Wayne, and then you put Daniel Craig in the Batman outfit, and you just never say that they aren't the same person. So like when you go to the takes where he's Batman, he's just like the Daniel Craig, like super, like just like a triangular human, and maybe even sounds British when he's like interrogating people. Then it's John Hamm in the border where people are like, is that the same? Like people in the movie theater are like, is that the same guy? Like
for what's his name? Terry? What's his last name?
McGinnis.
Do you think like a Liam Hemsworth?
Oh yeah, I could see that.
It wouldn't be bad for a young Bruce Wayne.
That's not the problem. Is like they don't have to make Terry high school age, but typically he was in the past. They don't have to do that. They could have him more seasoned, like in college or something. But
and I mean, also they could. It would ruin it, but like the guy who plays Flash, I feel like he could do it too.
Oh sure, yeah. They'll keep him in TV. Those guys are so safe.
No, the one from the movie.
Oh, Ezra Miller.
Yes, Ezra Miller. I think.
God, no.
I think he'd make an okay Terry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just think they won't ever make him not be Flash, even though they can't seem to get a director for the Flash movie.
I mean, that's what Batman Beyond is like. He's super skinny, super athletic, and like very agile.
It's the suit. It makes him super. It makes him very aerodynamic for the future.
I was fine with Liam Hemsworth. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth I think would be a good pick.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think of who you take as your old man Batman. That's the trick.
Old man Batman. I would say like George Clooney. I think George Clooney could be a good.
No, he played Batman.
Yeah, you have to bring him back, and then people will be like, "Oh, he's back."
Would George Clooney play Batman?
Yeah, he played in the two most like hated Batman movies ever. It's like
maybe that's why
I
didn't even know that because I didn't watch them.
Scratch that answer.
All I want from that movie is like I want a real legitimate Mr. Freeze, because apparently in this new Batman movie they're gonna have 4 like of the Rogues Gallery, like 4 villains are gonna be in this. They probably won't be in there the whole time, but like I want a legit like can't see his face Mr. Freeze that like you can't fight because he's got his his freeze gun or freeze ray, and he's just like a presence, like he's in a big like battle armor kind of thing, not like mech suit, but you know what I mean. Like I want Mr. Freeze to be scary instead of like Arnold Schwarzenegger chill. Like I don't. We gotta cut that. Like it was so bad.
Oh, okay. He's in a lot of Quentin Tarantino films.
Skip.
No, he was in it. He was the father type figure in Alita.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz.
Yes. I think he'd be great as a old man Batman.
Old man Batman? Maybe. I'd see him as being like a really good Alfred if Jeremy Irons is out.
Yeah, that could be true.
Even though Jeremy Irons,
also, but let's get back to the real nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Fuck this character. I'm over it. Stop. Don't even recast Batman. Just move on without him.
He's too much money. You can't leave Batman. You gotta.
No, like his films did terrible.
Well, I mean, not the Dark Knight trilogy. That one did.
No, that one was bonkers, but that's because Christian Bale.
Well, yeah, or Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan did a great job.
Whoever he is, we love you, Chris. We love you so much.
Do you pull like a Brendan Fraser out of retirement?
I know that was because we asked people about that, and I saw that one come up a time or two. If he took it seriously,
I think he could do. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I know he's done a bunch of wacky stuff, but I think he could maybe pull it off. I don't know. Joe, what do you think?
Like a Jim Carrey?
Oh God, no! He already did Riddler. Or being like joking and serious. Joe, Brendan Fraser, what do you think?
No, I think he's too soft looking.
Sure, he does kind of have soft features.
Yeah, I don't mean that in like any horrible way. I just don't think.
But in his older age now,
Yeah.
Well, so the whole old man Batman and the Batman Beyond thing isn't going to come into the DCEU anytime soon. I think it's not really quite there yet, but
maybe not.
Yeah, or 15 years after the events of Justice League, like I don't think we're jumping that far ahead. But here's my take on it. Can we say X-Men Part 2? I mean, they're just freaking tripping over their own feet. They learned nothing from what Marvel had laid for groundwork in front of them by 10 years, for freaking crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, you need somebody who's committed to the role. You need to reinforce that role. You need to put your heart and soul into it to make it something that somebody wants to stick with, for crying out loud. Freaking, you think of Robert Downey Jr. and you don't even know his real freaking name. You think it's freaking Tony Stark. When you see him, you say Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Half the time, I can't remember Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In all honesty, he lives it. He breathes it. It was successful for him, and I don't think he's committed to it.
It's like Johnny Depp.
The money.
People are like, oh, Captain Jack.
Sure.
Yeah, but God, he's done some great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow. Anyway,
I was like, I love that Sleepy Hollow. It's so good.
Anyway, it's just it's downright despicable. Like, imagine when you go to the theater and that other actor walks on screen to take off right where Ben Affleck left off after Justice League, and it's just going to be like, it'll be jarring. If it's not jarring for you, you don't care about it. So I don't know. They just had Aquaman, bust $1 billion. Freaking Wonder Woman, one of the highest grossing movies of that year. I mean, sorry, ringtone. And another one.
It's DC. DC got your number. They're like, Joe, shut up.
How dare you say these unspeakable things? Well, you know what? It's a darn truth. It's absolutely despicable. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can go through and rattle off actors that could do it. I think your pick was pretty good, Jimmy. My pick, Dwayne Johnson or Josh Duhamel, would be good.
Katie's in the background. Katie, say hi.
Oh, you can see me. Why are your pictures like?
Yeah, that's because we're doing the show. Say hi to everybody.
The Instagram manager.
Yes. You're not in the future. You're in the present, technically. Yep.
This won't make it beyond the cutting room floor, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, we're leaving this in. That's right.
Katie.
He's our youngest Legionnaire right here, everybody. This is how Katie's getting our sub numbers up. All right, Katie, let's get another one.
No.
Bye. Continue.
But yeah, Dwayne Johnson, Josh Duhamel, I think those are good picks. No one even reacted to my joke on Dwayne Johnson, but okay.
Whatever. You could totally do an Ian McKellen as an old Batman.
No, he's an old.
You could totally do it.
And it just keeps getting worse. So
here's the problem. So Dwayne Johnson, I don't laugh at it, but if you do that, because he's already going to be Black Adam, right? They're doing Black Adam. So let's say if he wasn't Black Adam.
Black Adam?
Black Adam.
Oh, I thought it was like Back Adam,
Yeah. He's like, I'm everybody's favorite superhero, Back Adam. You punch me and I come right back. It's just hit you right in the face. Yeah, it's a joke about Dwayne Johnson. I think here's what we do. We just get Ian McKellen to play old man Batman, but then when he puts on the suit, it's just Dwayne Johnson. And they don't talk about it. Just huge and ripped and just Ian McKellen's voice. Because at this point, that would mean more to me than whoever they cast. Because I feel like whatever they do and whomever they get, they'll still screw it up. And I'd rather watch it go down in flames in a glorious blaze as opposed to being like, oh, we're taking another run at this.
Yeah. Thing is, Ben Affleck is what, late 40s or 50s?
He's in his 50s.
And Batman doesn't have to be white, right?
I
don't know, because that starts to
let's not blur the lines. I mean, let's keep it somewhat accurate. I mean, you want to talk about jarring? We're already replacing Affleck halfway through their universe. Down.
So, for numbers, he's 46. Ben Affleck, 6'4". He's a pretty tall guy.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Well, in that case, I could play Batman.
Yeah.
I'm the right height.
Yeah. Let's get Casey Affleck or Matt Damon to come in and do it. I'm sure that wouldn't affect him at all. Like his brother or his best friend was like, yeah, and just sitting down at lunch sometime with Matt Damon, and he's just like, hey Ben, just quick thing. I'm gonna be the next Batman. Hope that's cool. And he'd be like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine, I don't care. Give me my drink. We shouldn't joke about it. I'm sure it's hard to be a professional actor and going in and out of rehab and all that stuff. But if Robert Downey Jr. can come out of being like a drugged up maniac and become super successful, it's like they like flipped roles. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well,
weird.
And you get that success and that great people around you and all that good stuff, and I think that helps the situation too. But
yeah,
and Ben wasn't quite getting that much of a rise out of this, but.
Well, he kind of made his like comeback because he was in a bunch of like jokey movies for a while, and I think like he started to claw his way back up to be like a good director as well as actor, like with Argo and all that stuff, and then I think this just got in the way.
Well, and a lot of that is stress on him too. So to a certain extent, I get it.
Sure. If Henry Cavill does back out and decides not to continue, Wonder Woman cannot keep this ship afloat.
No, she can.
What about Aquaman?
Aquaman. They'll just do Aquaman and Wonder Woman. That will be the new Batman and Superman, which is, I think, is totally fine. That's what they'll do because those movies make money and they have critical success.
So, and then it's Cyborg and then the Flash, and then they come up with like, Green Martian or something. Or what are you doing?
I don't know. They need to
Justice League.
It would be hard to not have Superman. I think they will throw a ton of money at Henry and they'll say like, please.
Well,
DC in general, is a mess express right now and just needs to figure out its life.
In general, I think Henry Cavill is still committed. I mean, he is not. He said that he would still do it. I mean,
wasn't there a thing that he said he was like? People were saying he's done, and then he was making all these like jokes and stuff. And
well, of course, because he's out doing other stuff, and they think he's moving on the greener pastures after Mission Impossible with some success there. I mean, yeah, rumor mill's gonna run, but I mean, I think that guy's. I think he has. He just seems like a guy that has good integrity. I think he was, that was the role that broke him out of, wherever he was in acting. And why would he just abandon it? Where his role as Superman has been somewhat successful.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to say critically acclaimed, but I mean preferred over any Superman we've ever seen.
Well, we can't say that because I'm sure people out there would be like, what was his name? The one
Christopher Reeves.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that's the one people be like, Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I mean, but let's face it, in modern day, I mean, what they can do with technology and everything, this is like the Superman of every comic book guy's dreams.
Yeah, we finally show him the power of him.
Exactly. We can actually show him off in the right light and actually do the character proper justice and what his abilities are. But
do you think we could do like a Keanu Reeves as Batman?
That crossed my mind. I thought that wasn't a bad
I just
choice.
thought about that. He's got the gruffness. He's got the grittiness to him. And he's
old enough.
He's a good actor, too. Like, he's got the chops for it.
Yeah.
Only problem I have is, like, with Ben, they got the characterization of Batman, I thought, pretty on point. And they just didn't have him in a movie for a lot of it, like with Superman, who finally, they started to get his characterization a little bit better at the end of Justice League, where he was actually, like, a little more hopeful and a little happier because in all these movies he's been so sad. It's like if you could get someone like Keanu to come in and do that kind of, like you said, that kind of gruff sadness, which we've seen in John Wick, like he can do that, and he can also be like a super vigilante, and we know he's been in big action movies before. I would think that'd be a really good pick, actually. I could see him as Bruce, like more of like an Eric Bana, like Bruce Banner type of thing, where it's like I'm kind of sad and sullen, but I'm still like I'm here. No big deal.
Yeah. Ultimately, whoever they pick, I hope it's good. It doesn't even have to be a big name. It can be somebody we've never heard about.
Yeah.
Bust out somebody like Henry Cavill that we have no clue who he is. That's fine. The ultimate thing is that you're going to have to get everything else right and hit it all in stride and put it all together properly. Because in order to take away that jarring hit of, whoa, that's not Ben Affleck. What happened to the Batman that we were watching in the other three movies? Right? Yeah. Everybody's going to be like that, and in order to calm that, you're going to have to do an excellent job, and whoever gets put in those damn boots has to be 100% committed and see it through. They're not going to have success with with all these characters coming together. Yeah, they'll have separate success maybe with like Aquaman like they did, Wonder Woman like they did. But like Justice League, that's just going to keep an even keel flat line. It's not going to trend up. It might even trend down if they don't get it right. So if they're going to bring all the characters together, which is the ultimate goal, those are supposed to be like Justice League was supposed to be Aquaman status.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know?
That's totally true.
So if you think of it that way, I mean, they're falling flat. They're lucky that Aquaman has done as well as it has, and Wonder Woman has done as well as it has. I feel like it's a confidence booster for them that the most recent is Aquaman, and take some freaking notes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad because it's so funny.
Otherwise, just freaking kill Batman off and say he died in a tragic plane test, like for crying out loud, and
Just
give it up.
If Chris Pine wasn't the love interest in Wonder Woman, he would be. I think he would have also been. Yeah. I know he's kind of shorter, but I just think he would have been good too.
That's fine. I keep thinking dark hair.
Isn't it kind of a bummer that characters like that happen, and then when they need them for a different role, they can't because the continuity would be all fucked up.
And also talking about we're saying like Henry might be out. It's like just because he accepted the role of like Geralt for Netflix, like he's an actor who can juggle things and do other things. It's like Ian McKellen did Magneto and Gandalf like at the same time. It wasn't like they're like, oh, he's stopping, he's not doing Gandalf anymore. It's like whoever they get, they'll sign up. Like Joe, you're right, they have to be 100% committed, but also Warner Brothers will be like, hey, you're signing on for like 10 movies. Like you have to do them.
Yeah, like, and which leads me to believe they may not get a huge name actor that they may not want to commit to something like that, but ultimately that's kind of what they have to do and build somebody up. I mean, Henry Cavill's a good example of it.
Question:
he worked.
He's only been in a few things. I know him best from Lone Ranger. I know Armie Hammer's name has been thrown around a lot. Would you guys be okay? I know, but
long-time era of the Arm and Hammer Foundation.
Yeah. Do you think at this point to recast Batman, you just bring in a Nightwing who comes in and it has to take up the role because something happens to Batman, and they're like, hey, and he comes up and he joins the league and he's like, hey, I know I'm not Bruce, but I'm the new Batman. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Let's do it.
That would make some like continuity sense.
Or Robin.
Well,
Robin in there
Robin
and be like,
Nightwing,
he was
right? It's the same person.
Yeah, so he was the first. So Dick Grayson used to be. So he's Robin, and then he becomes Nightwing, and then he in like comics he does take up the role of Batman. So that's what I'm saying is like he would come back in and he'd be like, "Hey, something happened to Bruce, and I know I'm not Batman, but I'm kind of the next best thing, and the world's ending, so I'm going to be part of the Justice League, or something like that. Like that's
I don't know where
I would
Bruce is. He kind of went MIA.
Yeah, like just do something like that, like because you're right. If they recast it and they don't have any explanation for it, it'll just be so like what? Like it'll be so weird.
It's a little weird that they never started a Robin for this situation. Like if they were smart, they should have started a Robin right away.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's because DC just announces like 40 things, and then I think they just wait to see what people are excited about. They're like, Aquaman did well, so let's announce a Trench movie. And it's like, okay, the Trench is interesting, but I wouldn't say it's like, let's make a whole movie about that. But maybe I'll be wrong. Yeah, so Joe, they're making like a movie based on the creatures of the Trench or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just like, if
all
they
right.
would...
Let's move on to the next subject because this is almost exhausting.
So we can all agree that Karl Urban is the perfect replacement. He'll be just a really, really old Nightwing.
I think it's a good choice.
I just think, did you guys see Judge Dredd? He basically acts the whole movie like this. He's so good. He's very good, and he's underappreciated. And I didn't like Scourge or whatever in Thor Ragnarok. I didn't like a lot of stuff in that movie. Anyway, so basically what I'm hearing is that you guys are kind of over Batman, and I will still fight for Batman because I love Batman.
Could be great.
Is that the dude that plays Eowyn?
Huh? Yeah, Eomer.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, he throws that spear. He throws that spear at that one Oliphant rider or whatever, that Mumakil, and the guy's like, and he like whips it, and he gets him, and he pulls it.
You're good. For a second, you and Levi were not friends.
Yeah,
I like Eomer. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, by the way, is there any like of the Rogues Gallery that we have seen or haven't seen from Batman that you guys would just love to see in this? If there are gonna be 4 of them, like, is there anybody you're like? For me, I said Mr. Freeze because I love Mr. Freeze. That would be crazy. But
I'm sorry, there's gonna be 4 what?
4 villains in this Batman standalone film.
That's coming out.
Yeah, and again, it might be like a Ultimate or Amazing Spider-Man 2 situation where like one
movie.
He might be in it for like a second. It might be like the first night, like the first like 20 minutes of the film, it's like the first night he's out on patrol or something, and there's like 3 different things happening. But
I don't like the Riddler, but I do like Two-Face. Is it Two-Face?
Yeah, Two-Face. Yeah.
Like Two-Face. I don't like the Penguin. That's scary.
How about Poison Ivy?
Poison Ivy's cool. I feel like Emma Stone would make a great Poison Ivy.
Oh my god, dude, that's a really good pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
cool.
like Daphne from Scooby Doo. I think she'd do well there.
Oh my god, she'd be a good Daphne too, dude. Oh,
You
really
mean
good
Sarah
pick.
Michelle Gellar?
She's not like Emma's not dumb though, because like that's the whole point of Daphne. Well, not that she has to be dumb, but in her old characterization, Daphne was not.
I was making a joke. Let's not go down the rabbit hole.
Sorry, I just wanted to back it up. I wanted to back.
Damn it, Joe.
I saw a Great Dane the other day that I thought would play a mean Scooby Doo. I tell you what.
Joe, any Batman villains that you want to see?
They need to shit can that standalone Batman movie, put it on a shelf for a little bit.
They really do.
Deathstroke.
Too
They were
soon.
gonna do Deathstroke. It was gonna be the main villain. It was gonna be Deathstroke.
Was it gonna be? Was
yes,
it?
Yeah, that's why they hired Joe Manganiello. They're like, hey, he's gonna be like somebody as smart or smarter than Batman and can actually fight him and beat him up. Like, oh god, Deathstroke.
I hate to say it, and I'm sorry, team, but they need to shelf it for a little bit. They can't just bust out a new Batman.
Joe's got me
pulled
thinking.
off the
Why don't we
frickin'
just
icebox.
scrap Batman and just make Scooby Doo in the Justice League?
Oh my god. Just roll in with
Ricky?
it would get me excited if they're like showing off and they're like unite the seven and they're like showing all these people and that might be the seven Seas or whatever. They're showing all the faces and they don't show Batman the last one. It's kind of like it looks like
They just
Batman.
show
from
the back of the chair,
Yeah.
the silhouette with the head and the ears. It could be Batman, but maybe it's not. One ear was floppy. What happened to Batman?
It would be like I know it's a joke.
Scooby
But,
Doo
like-
has dressed up as Batman in the past.
If we could
It's
get
happened.
Scooby out there and Shaggy and they're running around and they're avoiding like parademons shooting lasers at them and
Trying
like,
to pull the
rest of
mask
league-
off their head, but it's
Yeah,
not bad.
the league is like protecting them constantly. Like you're like, why did they get? Who are these two civilians? And they're like, oh, they're part of the team now. Like, oh, I would definitely watch it.
Constantly eating sandwiches out of the Justice
Just-
League fridge.
That's a good segue into a mini topic question I have for you guys. The new Scooby-Doo they are actually casting, they did not recast Shaggy, and he's a little upset about it.
Oh,
What are you
or I didn't bring him back to the
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Yep. And people are pissed.
I didn't know they were doing a new Scooby Doo.
They're doing a new Scooby-Doo, yeah, and he
Uh.
found out in the worst way. They didn't call him. He found out on the internet.
Well, I get that though.
Who
Like
cares?
they don't have to call him, right? But I understand
Did
what
they
that.
bring
Joe,
back
he-
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze
He's
Jr.?
the Shaggy. Like,
Well, he's like, yeah, the
There's
only
a
live
million people in the world that could play Shaggy. Go to Coachella, you know? Like, seriously.
holy shit.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like I
You're not
completely
wrong.
agree.
No. Holy
Oh,
crap.
yes. I still can't get the image out of my mind of Scooby with the mask sitting at the back computer. And he's like getting the stuff and just Shaggy walks in. He's like, Zoinks, man, we got plenty of money now. Like, you know, I just like see the Wayne account shows up. Oh my gosh.
Vinyl wraps on the Batmobile that say Scooby Snacks on the side.
Oh my gosh. I would.
Scrappy Doo
watch it.
just running around.
It would be better than what they're
Oh.
trying to do at this point. All right.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo is his Robin. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Reggie? Yeah. I
And
would love
moving
that.
on.
Yeah, so there we go. We
DC
picked the new
sucks.
Batman. Hopefully they'll figure it out, and I hope that we get to see. I know they talked about doing Man of Steel 2 a while ago, but I feel like that's just been baking now, or like
you
it's
know,
just,
the
like,
problem
talked
with
about.
Man of Steel, I still look at Man of Steel and I'm like, for some reason, I feel like I hate Lois Lane more than Lex Luthor.
Agreed,
The
and I
character.
absolutely abhor Lex Luthor, but she's
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah,
in
not
those
only
movies.
because of her role in the movies, the dumb shit she does, but like, what's the actress's name? I'm sorry, like, she's not bad.
Okay,
She's a good actress and everything. I just don't want her as Lois Lane. I'm sorry.
I could be wrong about this.
And the dynamic seems so lame. They don't accentuate that at all between the two of them.
Amy Adams, right? I
Yep.
might be wrong. I think she actually used to perform at a dinner theater that's in my state. So I don't know if she's actually from my home state of Minnesota, but I know the dinner
I'm
theater
sorry.
she used to work at. And I was like, she's okay. Amy, get this. I like you a lot. You're great in Arrival. You're fun in Enchanted or whatever. I think you're great. I just don't think you're good Lois. And I think a lot of it's the writing and the stuff they make you do because they just make you horrible. They just, in every way, they just make you bad. So I don't think it's her fault. I just think it's just not there.
Maybe when we end the recording, I'll divulge some of the other reasons I don't like her as Lois. But okay, moving on.
Perfect. Moving on. Well, now it's time to move into that segment of the show that I like to call, Levi likes to call, Joe likes to call Time Killers. It's the things we've been playing, the things we've been watching.
You gotta put a pause in there, Jimmy. It's too fast. Too fast.
I wanted to roll with it because I got to do it this time. So I'm the one who edits this. Levi, what have you been killing time with, buddy?
John Wick.
Which one?
All of them. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen the second one yet. I just watched the first one for the first time the other day. The movie's amazing.
Yeah, well, you text me out of nowhere and you're like, you didn't tell me, spoiler for John Wick, that a beagle dies. I'm like, okay, you just got a beagle yourself. I didn't think. Like,
I didn't know it was a beagle.
My friend got a dog. I should go warn him about all the movies with like specific beagle puppies to die. I didn't think about it.
That being the only one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, pretty much.
I was watching it with Doug, and he's like, "Oh, it's cute. He's gonna get over it by loving this dog." And I'm like, "No, but that's not what's gonna happen."
Yeah. I think,
yeah. And I've been killing time with Overwatch.
Wait, did you like John Wick? You didn't even tell us.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it a lot. It was awesome.
Shouldn't have hurt that dog.
Yeah, no.
No. It was awesome because it like just broke a lot of, it didn't break the fourth wall, but it broke a lot of its like own, what am I trying to say? Stereotypes for like an action film. Like there was a lot of moments that brought you out and they're like, well, duh, it's an action film. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought the casting was great. I liked the villain, and the villain's dad was hilarious. So.
I love that moment that the villain's dad is like, wait, what did you do? He's like, who was the guy? And he's like, I'm pretty sure that's like, is it Bob? Does he know that he's called Baba Yaga or whatever? I love that name, by the way. But he's like, you're gonna kill us over. You killed a puppy and you stole some dude's car, and he's gonna kill all of us now. It's not just like, he's gonna kill you and let it be done. Everybody's dead. I hope you're happy now, kid. Like, right? That's why you can't trust your kid. That's why you don't spoil your kids. Otherwise, they'll do that. And then
let's face it, they're all little spoiled rats these days.
So, am I coming up to a good sequel, or is it a kind of a meh sequel?
I like it because it does some really fun world building. It's got great action once again. It's just they have such a dedication to doing one-shot takes that aren't shaky cam. And the fact that you can go watch like how Keanu like trained with all these guns, like he seems like an efficient murdering machine. Like Neo was scary, because like in the Matrix, like he's basically can do whatever he wants. But John Wick feels like so lethal. Like at any moment he'll just do something, and it's just like, he just killed like 2 people. Like
he is currently training for John Wick 3. Him and Halle Berry shooting guns at the gun range every darn day.
Isn't that coming out soon? Isn't it already done?
I don't know. All I know is I've seen videos of him training for John Wick 3 or, on set training, whatever. He's freaking...
Yeah. If you like the first one, though, Levi, you'll like the second one. Joe, I don't remember if you've seen them both, but I remember they're both great. I think they're both really solid action.
I don't think I've ever seen them start to finish, but I've seen enough of them to know they're good.
Yeah, they're good. And I like his look, too. There's something about, like, the whole beard and long hair that just makes him seem even scarier.
His choreography isn't over the top either.
Nope, it's very...
Yeah. That's what I like about it. Is I was expecting it to be very Mission Impossible-esque, but it's just very, like...
Nope, it's pretty grounded.
Realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mission Impossible, they don't do super over the top with the fight scenes. They don't fight a lot in those movies, though. There's not a lot of punch-ups. John Wick does get into punchiness once in a while. This last one, though, seems so comic booky, like all those people with katanas, and they're all pulling them out on motorcycles. But yeah, Levi, I think you'd like the second one, too. It raises the stakes, and it feels like a sequel that's building up to a third one, whereas that first John Wick feels like just its own movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've been playing Overwatch as well.
Yep, and that's about it.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
I'm wrapping up Resident Evil 2, so.
Yeah. Joe, how about you, man? What have you been killing time with?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I've recently been watching Family Guy.
Go on.
Which I know everybody just loves Family Guy. No, I just watch it for a little humor. I like their
first seasons of Family are good. I'll back you up.
Sure. Well, I watched the most recent one, season 17, and they do some
Yikes.
current events, relative episodes, and it's kind of funny. They're changing their style a little bit to where they kind of like break the fourth wall or whatever, Deadpool style and stuff more so now. And sometimes it outright makes me laugh. Other times it's like, unnecessary. But it is what it is, and it's enjoyable. I've also been playing Anthem, obviously. Taking a little bit of a break on that one. I'll probably pick it up again this weekend. Fun thus far. The other thing I've been doing is Call of Duty Black Ops, period. So that's about it.
Cool. I too have been playing Anthem. I hit credits, so there'll be a review up for that shortly. What I can say right now, though, is I enjoy it. It does have plenty of issues, but there's stuff to be enjoyed within it, and there's still stuff that I really like, and I do really enjoy the cadence of fights, but I mostly enjoy playing with Joe, which we've had some issues like last weekend even trying to get together and play. We weren't for a while, but I think it lacks something compelling like Monster Hunter does, and still, kind of continues to this day. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And there's been plenty of problems that people have had with it, but I wanted to, take my time with it, really get into it. I finally unlocked the highest tiers of difficulty, and I went on a mission to do the first level, which there are Grandmasters 1, 2, and 3 respectively. I did the Grandmaster 1, and it definitely made it harder. All the enemies were hitting a lot harder, and it made me a lot more active or thinking about what I wanted to do and positioning myself, because I play as the Storm, like making sure I was always having like rocks for cover to float behind and working with my teammates way more efficiently. So thankfully that was fun. So I've been playing that. I actually, because I had Games Pass for the charity stream we did a few weeks ago, I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the third one of this Lara Croft reboot. And even though I won't say the story is anywhere near as good as Uncharted, because they're kind of similar in like they're globetrotting and they're trying to sneak into tombs and stuff, the stuff they do with this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoy there's a lot of puzzle solving, which I'm not usually into, but I do like this one because it's like, and you can actually change the difficulties on that. I think platforming and combat, and they're all three separate things, so you can change them. So you can have like really difficult combat, but like super easy puzzles where they just basically tell you what to do. But I love that in this game I can cover myself up Predator style in mud and like hug against a wall, and you just like Lara is gone, like she's gone, but she has like a knife out, and so like you're basically taking these dudes down with a knife that you made from like a propeller blade and a climbing axe. So you'll grab a guy off a dock and pull him underwater and just like strangle him out. And it's just like so brutal, and I love it so much. I'm just like, yeah, I'm my own woman. I'm like, oh, mama's got a knife. So like run in there, like stab a dude in the head, and they're like, oh, what happened to Frank? And then find his body, and then I'm just like, So I've been enjoying that. It's pretty good. I'll probably try to beat it before the old Game Pass runs out. Last thing I'll mention is that I've been watching Umbrella Academy, which is on Netflix. It's the superhero show based on the Dark Horse comic. It's only 8 episodes long. It kind of has this pseudo Watchmen vibe to it, but I like it. I think it's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. It's pretty well done, and then they shoot it like a movie, so there's a budget behind it. And if you like superhero stuff at all,
it's good shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's TV-14, so it's not like super like bloody or anything like that, but it definitely has a darker edge and bite to it. And not all the characters are super likable, and the circumstances of them and their superpowers is still kind of nebulous. But it's interesting. So I would recommend checking it out if you're at all into superhero stuff on Netflix, which is definitely shifting from Marvel to other stuff. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, now it's time to move into my personal favorite segment of the show, community feedback
and questions.
There we go. I figure you guys always say it, so I'm just gonna man.
And questions.
There we go. Just like, I'm coming in late. I'm gonna do it still. Let's see. So, I asked our lovely Legionnaires who they would replace Ben Affleck with for Batman, and obviously that we got a few. I said and why, but nobody wants to ever Why would that? I see why teachers get so frustrated with that now. Because like when I was a kid, it was and why were the two worst words you'd see on like a worksheet. Because you're like, oh god, like I have to explain things.
Because period.
Yeah, because dude, I think I might have done that once or twice just to be like, you know what? There. If I was a teacher, I'd be like, that's a star for you. Good job. My buddy Corey Lang, he just shows a picture of Ryan Gosling. Not a bad pick, I don't think. That's not bad. A Missile Mage, just it's George of the Jungle, Brendan Fraser, but Brendan Fraser. And then our buddy Mike Kinghorn, who actually runs the website, he put in, I think, what did he say? He's one of the Starks from Game of Thrones. He's like one of the sons. Not Ned. I know he's the dad. Help me out here, guys. He's not Jon Snow. He's one of the Starks.
Oh, the one who plays Jon Stark.
Is John? I could be wrong. I don't know.
Right, Levi.
Wait,
I saw Kit Harington as one of the guys on the list.
Not Kit Harington. Not him. The another one. I think he's one of the Starks.
Rob Stark.
Rob Stark. Yeah.
Rob.
Why are like all those names like it's like I'm Frank Stark and I'm William Stark? Like it's not like I'm like William Starkington. It's just like I'm Bill Stark. Nice. Thank you for.
Bill is not a very old name, it seems.
I don't know. It just seems it was just weird to me.
John was.
Some of those. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Some good picks there. And then I think Fragadin also. What did Fragadin say? He'd said one earlier that I thought was really good. I think it's one we already said before, though. John Hamm. That's what he said. Huh?
I want the Mountain to play Bane in the DC universe.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I want Bane to come back, and I know people make fun of Tom Hardy and his voice and stuff, but I still think Bane is a cool character. And bring Venom back, like the actual stuff that he can like juice up with, and just that's what I want to see. All right, guys, just a couple of questions, then we'll wrap it up here for today. Simon, lots of other stuff over on our Discord. He said, "Is there a PS1 game you would like to see get a Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Resident Evil remake?" And he said, for him, it's the game 40 Winks. #Critical Podcast. That's easy. Legend of Dragoon deserves a remake. Remake that game. It'd be great. Who wouldn't want to see that game? Joe, Levi, any PS1 games that you love? Or maybe Final Fantasy VII? I mean, they're already doing it. It's just
Legend of Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon, see? Levi gets it. He knows. He's a good person. Joe, I know PlayStation 1 was a little maybe like kind of right when you were getting into
the early Spider-Man game. It was like a shared console between my sister and I that we saved up for, and played it for a few weeks and then it sat on a shelf.
But you got it though. Feels good once you accomplish that goal. You're like, I did.
Yeah. Back then, like games didn't really hit as hard for me. The only thing I was real into was like Pokemon Game Boy games before that.
Yeah.
I didn't really get back into games till college, but nothing comes to mind for me, to be honest.
Oh, and I gotta say this too for Missile Mage because he'll kill me if I don't. Final Fantasy VIII. Everybody talks about 7 and 9 and stuff, but let's just remake all the Final Fantasies while we're at it. We'll just make money. That's all we're gonna do now is just make remakes and stuff. This question comes in actually from Missile Mage. This one kind of plays into what you were saying earlier about Family Guy, Joe, but it'll be a little different. Are there any games or movies that you enjoy watching or playing because you can just turn your brain off? Think something like Revenge of the Sith, where he says you don't want to think too hard about it. And he's watching enough times that he can just relax, doesn't have to concentrate on what's happening. #Critical Podcast.
Yeah, my MXGP games or Monster Energy Supercross.
Cool. Good pick. Levi, how about you? Any movies or games that you just play? Like, is Overwatch like that for you now, where you're just kind of zen? You're just kind of like,
yeah, Overwatch. I've seen his KD. He doesn't care.
Rude. Have you seen
No, I did tune into a couple of your streams of that though.
We should play sometime, Joe.
We should.
Yeah, I said World of Warcraft and like Overwatch do that for me.
Are there any movies for you guys? Because I was thinking about that. Like, I've seen Lord of the Rings a bunch.
Yeah,
but...
Jurassic World. I don't care enough anymore.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings, I want to do that with, but then I feel like I know the commitment and emotion I'll feel, so I never want to start it at 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, I don't want to start Fellowship right now because I'll be like, Yeah, it's too much for me. That's how I used to feel with like Prototype, like those open world games where you could just like fly around and just like crush a city, just like kill. I was just like, I'm just like.
What
just
about Frasier for you? Is that a show you can turn on and not, think too much, just enjoy?
I guess the thing about Frasier is I find myself so actively engaged with it. Like I tend to laugh out loud so much, even though I've seen these episodes and I like know
that's
the stuff's
fine,
coming.
but it's not like you have to think about what's going on. You get
That's
it. You're
true.
following,
Yeah, that's true.
It's the same with me and Family Guy. I'll laugh out loud, but
I think the only problem is like I pay attention just because they'll do like callback jokes, like intelligent jokes to something earlier,
sure. So
and if
you
I
have to
don't,
think a little bit.
I'm like, what? Yeah, and I've been meaning to go back to start Frasier again because my sister Katie, who stopped by earlier, she said she just finished it and she was like, I wish that he would have ended up with Roz, and I was like, no, like I was like, no, not Roz. What are you thinking? No, like that's not how that show should have ended. When's that continuation coming, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. Any game I could play music on while I like actually play it was a game that I'm comfortable with. That's how Gears of War used to be for me. I used to play that so much that I just put on like Breaking Benjamins, and that was like my Xbox 360. Like, yeah, I'm a teenager. Like I'm killing stuff, and it's like blow me away, and I was like,
I used to do that for like Call of Duty multiplayer.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Now you can't do that. Like Blackout, it's so based on sound, you'd be screwed immediately. But I know people that do that and do well. Like they do gaming videos of them playing Blackout and they have earbuds in under their headphones.
Sure. We'll do team deathmatch and just don't care about your KDR. Just play some heavy metal. Just like, yeah, I died like 20 times, whatever. I killed some people too.
But I killed 40. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's a great question, though. I think if I went back and played Darksiders like 1 or 2 again, I might be in that kind of just like, I'm just kind of playing. Just playing. Great questions. Thank you, everybody, for writing in. We do appreciate it. If you ever have a topic for the show that we can cover, kind of like the choosing Batman once a day, or if you have a question for us, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast or post it in our Discord tab. You can tweet at any of us. You can tweet at our official account, which is at GoCritical. It's capital G and a capital C. Or you can tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. If you'd like to tweet at Joe, you can tweet at
Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L.
Tweet him all the time because he's super active on Twitter and he wants to be on there more. He loves it so much.
I check out the Critical Reviews tweets here and there. I
tag
keep
you
up enough. Keep up enough.
I keep up enough.
I'm starting to get a little more in the Twitter, slowly but surely.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's all right. It's like the old Facebook like homepage, like that Facebook like Twitter feed. You could just scroll down it forever and never be done. Levi, if you want someone to tweet at you, where would they tweet?
I'm at Levi Fletcher.
I thought for a second you were going to say at Lever_627. I would be like, well played.
I was just laughing at myself about Joe. Like, I was like, is Haley ever like, Joe, you never talk to me? And you're like, I talked to you enough. Like,
I tweeted at you yesterday, sweetheart. Tweeted a GIF. A GIF of
God, is it ever good enough?
Exactly. Not even a year into their marriage, and they're already having this now. just screaming at each other. Anyway, yeah. If you want to hang out with us over, like we talked about streaming earlier, hang out with us over on twitch.tv/critical reviews. I'm on there usually Monday, Fridays. Levi's on there sporadically. Yeah, it's a good time. Let's see. If you want to support us, head over to our Spreadshirt, get a sweet shirt, and tweet us a picture of that shirt because we want to see your beautiful face or whatever else we have over there. We have a bunch of stuff. Also, we have to do this too. What should be our hashtag this week? We're talking about Batman a lot for people to tweet at us. What should our hashtag be?
Hashtag Scooby Bat.
Scooby Bat? Dude, yes. Hashtag Scooby Bat. Let's make that a thing. If any of our artist friends are listening, we'd love you. Just draw that. You draw a little Scooby Bat for us. That's the challenge we gave you this week.
Just a silhouette in the chair from behind.
Oh my gosh.
Lit up by the computer monitors in front of him.
Just sees like the stock price. He's like looking at stocks for Scooby snacks and he's just putting all the Wayne money in there. He's just transferring it all. That'd be great. Yeah, I want to thank This Is Dale for our theme music and the one and only Your Nevers for doing pretty much all the art you see here on the channel. If you want to go see his stuff, go check out at Naraj28 or at Jade Circle Art over on Twitter. He's also on Instagram as well. You can find the stuff's popping up, links and all that. Anyway, if you want to support us, though, consider heading over to our Patreon. That'd be great. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being here this week. It was a pleasure to have you both back talking about your favorite things, which are Batman and X-Men and
Yeah,
Hellboy.
people think we're going so negative.
That's okay. We don't hate everything. It was just a rough week.
Just some things.
Just some things. It's okay because we wouldn't know what we loved if we didn't know what we hated.
It's called being passionate, and this is critical reviews after all.
Yes, that's correct. Because
not hypercritical, not overcritical. Just
that's
critical.
true. Yeah. Well, the only reason we hate them is because we loved them once. Because I used to love X-Men, and now I just like maybe it's I just don't care. I'm just indignant. I'm like, or I should say, what's not indignant? What is why can't I think of the word, guys? Help me out here. What's the
indifferent?
Indifferent. Thank you. Oh, thank God.
Even simpler than indignant.
Exactly. I've been watching so much Frasier right now. I can't even speak like a normal person. I'm like Ultron, where he's like smaller humans. He's like children. Yes, and I'm like, what? You're like a super smart robot, and you can't think of the word children.
Yeah, right.
Like, I was like, what? I love you, James Spader. Please come back. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Just remember to adapt and overcome.